Hello all. One of my recent videos, which was watched by a follower, asked the question about how do you take the Vicon Acrobat to bits for storage. So here is the old Acrobat sitting in the garden. I bought mine from storage in some nettles. It actually came from an auction, but it spent most of its life in the nettles, was completely rusty. Mainly because it's been kept outside. As you can see, when I restored it some, I don't know, 10 years ago, I took it all to bits and de-rusted it and put new tines on and repainted it. But it looks today in quite good condition, as you can see. But storing it is a bit of a challenge because although when it's on a tractor, it's a fairly easy thing to use. When it's not on a tractor, it's a real handful because it's all balanced. And when it's out of balance, it's all over the place. But here, one thing is, if you ever take it to bits, for goodness sake, always make sure you've got it on a tractor. If you haven't got it on the tractor, it'll just fall to bits on you. And it'll end up with you underneath it, fighting with the tines, which you'll find have an amazing ability to get stuck down your trousers and caught in your shirt, and it's a terrible thing. I can't see it slightly better now I'm standing in the shade. But in essence, you'll notice that piece of wood there, that's the first thing. This bit here. That piece of wood is quite crucial. When you actually have it in use and it's hanging on the spring, which you can see there when you take the pin out, it actually gets jammed in the down position. And if you give it a hefty clonk on the end of there with that piece of wood, a hammer is not hard enough, but it's going out of focus there. But you belt on there with a piece of wood, it knocks it back so you can get that pin back in, that one there. You can get that back in again to pick it up with the tractor. It took me a little while to realise that was an issue, but that's what the piece of wood is for. But ignore that for the moment. In essence, this is in 3 bits. This is the first bit where it goes onto the tractor. As you can see, there's the 3-point linkage pins. The top link is there. That's where it goes to the tractor. So that sort of triangle down to that joint there is 1 bit. The next bit is this great big hoop of a thing starting there, going round here and down to that point there. That's number 2 bit. Number 3 bit, well, the 2 pieces are the same. In fact, well, they're not quite the same. They look the same. Is this chunk here, that hoop there, which has got 2 wheels on it. And then this hoop here, starting from that point there, which has another 2 wheels on it. As you can see, there's 2 wheels on there. What I do is to leave the wheels, the actual diamond tines, I leave all those on. So that's 1 bit. That's 1 bit. This great long hoop is effectively number 3, I suppose you would call it. And that hitch part there is number 4. And I find if you take it to bits like that, you can store it in a reasonable size space. All of it is actually surprisingly heavy and distinctly awkward. This front piece here where it goes onto the tractor is really quite heavy. I can just about lift it. It's that kind of heavy and awkward and inevitably greasy. These tine wheels at the back, I always get someone else to help me with that. You think you just take them off and sort of wheel them along, but they don't run in a straight line. They run in some sort of strange diagonal thing. And obviously all these tines here, as you do it, these things are all sort of bending all over the place. And it's, again, it's a bit of a greasy old job. And I put those separately, sit them together, tie them against a wall. If you don't tie them up, they'll fall flat because the balance is all wrong. Um, and by doing that, I get it in there's an old shed over there which I keep it in. We've got a shed in the back of the garden, and these other bits go in the back of the tractor shed. So once it's actually taken down and put away, there's not much to it. But it is a two-man job. I remember the first time I put it together, I actually did it on my own. I was younger then, and it's probably more foolish. Um, but that's how you take it to bits. That's for storage, and I've kept this. I don't actually clean it. This has been in use for, I'd say, at least 10 years, probably 12. And it looks in pretty good condition. It's kept the rust off it. Um, and it was seriously rusty when I got it, but it's not too bad now. But that's really what you do if you're taking it to bits with a view to keeping it under cover. And I recommend that you do. If you don't keep it under cover, it'll get jammed up, rusted up, and it will just go rusty because it'll spend most of the year just standing outside. But if you keep it inside, it's okay. Just out of interest, when I sort of the final part of restoring it was actually putting the decals back on. You can buy these as a kit because, as you know, with this thing, it's you can do various things with it. You can row it up into one row, which is that one. Row it up into two rows, which is the middle one, or spread it, in fact, making it into four rows, which you can do repeatedly and just turn them all over, which it does that reasonably well. It has a tendency, if you give it half a chance, to tie a whole field into a great big knot. Not this year, because the hay, as you've seen from previous videos this year, there hasn't been very much hay at all. But certainly for rowing up, you can't beat it. It'll pick up every single stalk and row it up. Improbably, if you look at it, you think that'll never work, but it does. But also, when you're using it, of course, you've got an adjustment here, and that swings the whole thing round, so you can do a wider swath or a smaller swath. This year, I did as wide as I could get it. The only thing when it's wide is I used it on my Crop Master, which you'll have seen from the video, which I have done before. But when you put it on a narrow swath, a wide swath, it tends to ride all over the place. I did some more work with it in the last fortnight with a grey Fergie, and I put a stabiliser bar on, and that kept it straight. If it's not straight, it does tend to ride about a bit. But generally, it's okay. But if you're taking it to bits, that's my recommendation, and I've got the bruises to prove it. Best of luck.